Hey, Tony Gas is here, popping in. Now, let me see. Only have 37 minutes until my next coaching session, but wanted to talk to the men today. And so, if you happen to be a woman watching this, it's totally fine. Share it with your brothers and your sons or what have you. Now, this what I really want you to understand because I'm noticing that a lot of times guys feel, and I'm there sometimes too, where we feel misunderstood, we feel overlooked, we feel that the world isn't fair, we feel that marriage isn't fair, the workforce isn't fair, life isn't fair. Like you go through those times where you feel like, man, the chips are stacked against me. And what you got to realize and understand is all of that is intentional. Like that is an intentional attack on your mental and your emotional, your spiritual. And the goal is to detach you from the marathon, to remove you from the battle. The goal is to make you check out because what you have to realize is you being locked in and you finding your wife and you having children with that woman, and then you raising those children in a household of love, not a household of your trauma, of your pain, you being overbearing and you trying to make those kids be who you are at 40 when they're 5. And that's the mistake we make. I made that mistake pushing my son too hard sometimes, but just talking to him, telling him what to do instead of exemplifying it and getting out there with him and doing it with him. I focus on work and paying the bills, and so I'm doing what I'm supposed to do and telling him, hey, you got to do this, hey, you got to do that, hey, you got to do that. When the fathers who work a traditional 9 to 5, after they get off that 9 to 5, they get out there with their son. And because their son is a part of their retirement plan, their son is a part of their dream. And my son is not a part of my financial dream or my financial future. He's my son, my sons, I love them. And so I didn't do that with them. And so now my son a college soccer player, and I see that it's a lot on him and he got to figure it out. And he still ain't figured it out yet. And I said to myself the other night, I say, he going to get it. He going to get it. I said, he had a much better start than me, what I was doing. And the reason why I'm speaking on this is because I was derailed. And sometimes you got to be able to identify how you are being derailed. You got to look and see like, okay, well, what's derailing me? So for me, it was me being a little more attractive than the average guy. So I was able, in my area, I ain't saying worldwide now, but I was able to get a lot of women. And whereas other guys couldn't get those women, I was able to get those women. So that became a distraction for me. And that derailed me. That's what the devil used to get in and to take me off the path. And I remember my best friend of childhood, he came to me, he said, man, you got a gift with women. Like, who would say that? But that's how crazy it was in those times and how I was moving, that it made him say that. Like, that's what he thought. So he said, man, you got a gift with women. And he said, y'all forgive me closing these tabs. He said, you should do something with it. So here I am at like 21 years old. I started a modeling troupe called Dazzling Dimes. Now I'm in the club Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we hosting the party, me and these 8 girls. And it was a waste of time. Like, it was a waste of everything. And then on top of that, I'm messing around. I'm sleeping around with a bunch of girls and just derailed. And I wasn't locked in, and I couldn't see the goal. I couldn't see the future. Like, I couldn't see that, man, what would 4 years of sacrifice look like? And my dad used to always say that. He said, son, you sacrifice 4 years of your life will never be the same. Where he heard that at, what he thought of that, I don't know. And it still worked out for me. But the thing about it is I really don't see anybody else that it worked out for. Like when I look around and I see guys who lived how I lived, it ain't necessarily, none of it got to the level that it got to for me. And that's why I try to tell guys, like, listen, everybody grace ain't the same. Like, you don't know in what way. And then even doing what I'm doing now, what you have to realize is it's still a little different, because you got to ask yourself, am I going to get online and be a simp every day? What they call a simp. Like, am I going to get online and create content from the heart, genuinely, that protects women and that gives women the game so that they don't get played, and not worry about what men think of me? Like, that's a hard life to live. So if you're not going to die out to self like that, and you're not going to live that lifestyle to where men going to call you a simp and a sellout, even your closest friends going to call you a simp and a sellout, and men secretly jealous of you, and men secretly competing with you, and men hating on you behind your back because you represent a higher standard when you used to be a lower standard. If you're not comfortable and willing to live that lifestyle and walk that very lonely path, then it ain't gonna turn out the same way. So you got to realize and understand that right now you got to lock in. You got to lock in right now and cut that porn out. Cut that fornication out, or cut that adultery out. Cut that weed out, cut that gambling out, cut that drinking out. Like, whatever is a vice for you. And there's certain things like, I drink alcohol, but I don't get drunk. And so it's like, if you can't control it, I've gambled, went to the casino or whatever, but I don't have a gambling problem. Like, I don't keep indulging. I don't do that. So I've never got into porn because I was a womanizer. I was out there living. So I didn't have to watch it on the screen, but I can watch it now if I want to. And the reason why I don't is because I know it's a rabbit hole. Like, I know that would be addicting. Like, I'm picturing in my head right now, and I'm like, that would be addicting. Like, if I go watch that, man, I'm gonna be addicted. I'm gonna be like, oh, well, let me see what her stuff look like. Let me see what her stuff look like. Let me see what her stuff look like. And it's a never ending cycle. Like, I would be stuck in that, and I would be watching that all day. And I remember somebody telling me, it's guys that be watching the stuff in church. Guys be watching the stuff while they at work, and it become background noise. It becomes something they just watching, and it just playing all the time. And that right there warps your mind. That changes your life. And so you have to get to the place to where nothing has control over you. Nothing has control over you. So I'll go and I'll show myself, okay, Tony, you drink alcohol, but I will show myself that I could go without drinking alcohol. I'll show myself that, oh, I'm not losing it and craving and arguing and fussing and fighting or having sweats because I ain't have no whiskey. And so that shows me, okay, I have control. I'm not an alcoholic. And you got to look at that, whether it's a video game, gambling, smoking, drinking, porn, masturbation, whatever it is, you have to make sure that you are in control and that it doesn't control you. And the way you find out, go a week without it. Go a week without it. And then keep going without it. And then you got to ask yourself, what does it do for me? How does it benefit me? How does it change me? How does it bless me? And if it doesn't, then okay. Then you got to ask yourself, okay, if I'm doing this, can God sit with me while I'm doing it? Can God sit with me? Like, so that's why if I have mental alcohol, I'll say, okay, God can sit with me because Jesus turned water into wine. And the Bible tells us not to be a drunkard. So if I'm drinking responsibly and all I'm having is 2 ounces, then that's in moderation. 2 ounces, this right here. That's in moderation. I'm 200. Last time I got on the scale, I was 213 pounds. So I drank them 2 ounces of an old fashioned, I don't even feel it. Like I don't get woozy. I don't get dizzy. It might just be messing up my insides. So we all got a vice, but does your vice have you? Does your vice have you? Do you have control? And if you say you have control, show yourself you got control. Show yourself you don't need it every day. Show yourself. And then you got to ask yourself now, can God be here with me? Can God be here with me? Like, so I went in the casino and I was in Aruba and with my wife, and they had a casino right in the hotel. We went to Ritz-Carlton, Aruba. And I was like, man. And so I'm just over there. I'm like, man, it's kind of cool. Like, casino right in the hotel. Like, you walk out your room, can go in the casino. I bet that's how they make a lot of money. And so I went in there, and I don't know how to gamble. I don't know how to play the game, blackjack, roulette, none of that. So I get on the little slot machines. And so to me, it kind of feels like a kiddie game, but that money is real, and it could take your money. You could lose all your money, especially if you get one of the more off-brand games. Man, your money be gone. And I got in there, and guess what? I put $100 in a machine, and I think I lost 50. And then I went to another machine, probably put 50 in, probably went up to 70 or 80. And then eventually I was on one, and it went to 150, 200 or something like that. One of them, I think I won like 200, 270 or something like that. And I was able to get up and walk out of there above, ahead, up, whatever you call it, to where if I think I had $500 and left with maybe it was 700 or something. So that right there showed me I'm not a gambling addict. And when I came home, it's a casino in my city. I ain't been to the casino. Had no desire to go to the casino. I don't like the smell of the casino, too much smoke. But it shows me that is a vice, but the vice ain't got me. And that's where you got to fight for control. You got to pray for the strength, and you got to fight for control, because that's where the spiritual warfare is. The spiritual warfare is to get you addicted to a vice that takes you out of your focus, your grind, your element. It take you out of it. And I got a project we filming. We on Kickstarter, we raised a few dollars for it. And so we filming January 6th through the 8th. And I need to update that too, let the people know. And so we filming January 6th through the 8th. And for that right there, I'm working with a young man he's producing it, and he abstinent. He's abstinent, and that's how he live his life. Abstinent. Okay. And so, because he living like that, I could work with him. But guess what? When I'm done with that project, 2026, I don't think I'm working with no more single men who ain't abstinent. Like, I don't think I'm gonna align myself with men who out of alignment with God. If you're single, you got to be living like Apostle Paul. I'm not gonna work with single men who not living like Apostle Paul in 2026. Unless I already made a commitment in 2025, I got to be a man of my word. But other than that, I ain't doing no more. Because I'm not fixing to mess up and hinder my blessings. Nor am I fixing to reinforce a man living in his sin, his willing sin. And that's what we got to come up out of. I just talked to my wife today, and I said, baby, make sure. I say, God getting ready to do something in our life. I say, and I don't know how the devil work, whether he's going to be testing me or testing you, but make sure if he tests you, that you locked all the way in. Because if you not, and you slip, and you do the wrong thing, I got to let you go. I got to let you go now. And I told her just straight like that. She said, I understand. I got you. She was like, I ain't doing nothing crazy. And same thing. And I say vice versa. I expect the same. If I fall into some sin like cheating, I expect you to leave me. And see, me, I always want the consequences. I'd never run from the consequences. When I was little, if I did something bad and I got in trouble, I hand the belt to my daddy. And I stood right there and I took that whooping. My little sister, she running around all through the house. Guess what she's still doing today? Running from consequences. Still to this day. She's now about 40 years old, still running from consequences. I got my only sister, my blood sister is blocked right now on my phone for blaming me for her problems, blaming me for her mess, coming at me crazy, talking to me crazy, blocked. Because I got to work for the Lord. I can't have nobody stress. I can't be dealing with nobody stress. I got paid clients. That's all the stress I'm dealing with because I am a conduit of the Holy Spirit and I have the purpose to live and I got to do work in this purpose. And then her baby daddy be watching the videos and going back and gaslighting her and telling her stuff I done said. This is what your brother said. And she'll come to me saying stuff he said. I say, I don't care nothing what he got to say. Tell him, shut up. I'm a grown man. I'm a real man. I live my life. I take care of my wife. I take care of my kids. It's not my place to take care of my nephew. That's not my place. I didn't choose his father, and I'm not his father. I got 2 kids I got to take care of. And I'll be a blessing to my nephew. I'll send money to my nephew. I'll help any young man that I can. But I had to let my sister know, I'm like, I can't do a whole lot for my nephew because of you and your attitude and the way you is. And so that's what it comes down to. Being a man, you got to be able to stand 10 toes down on yours. You got to be able to put up boundaries in your life. You got to be able to see the vision. You got to be able to lock in and commit to the vision and don't let nobody get in the way, because Satan gonna use whoever he can use to disrupt your spirit. He will use your girlfriend. He will use your fiance. He will use your wife. He will use your mama. He will use your daddy. He will use your brother. He will use your sister. He will use your son. He will use your daughter. He will use your best friend. He will use your boss. He will use your employee. He will use your coworker. He will use your cousin. He will use your uncle. He will use your auntie. Satan will use anybody that you allow him to use. And that's what you got to realize and understand. He'll use anybody to stoke your fears, to make you mad, to get you out your element, to get you upset, to get you going. So my sister came with me crazy. I felt it riling up in my spirit, and I'm going off. I put her in her place, and then the Holy Spirit say, block her. Just block her. Let her live. She mad for reasons that ain't got nothing to do with you. Let her live. Block her. Go on about your business, because she'll need you before you need her. So go on about your business. You got to work that you got to do that you can't come down from. And guess what? It's been times in my life where I've had to block several family members. I had to block my closest family members in my life. It's been times where we done fell out and I had to block them and keep going. And so you have to not only realize that the spiritual warfare is going to be against you. The adversary wants you. The adversary wants you to prevent you from doing the work that you call to do, because you don't even understand the level of greatness that's in you. Like you think those of us that's out here that's reaching millions of people, the only one that was called? No, we ain't the only one that was called. We just was the only ones that came. We were the only ones that decided to be obedient. But guess what? Just how God called people, the devil called people. That's why you see my ops. That's why you see guys who they podcasters or they YouTubers, but they working against me. They working on the other side. They trying to cause drama. They trying to create mess. They trying to get stuff going. They trying to do that right there. They working on that right there. That's what they want to do. And that's because they the villains. You know, they the villains. They butt hurt. They upset. So they want to start wars with women. They want to put men versus women. They want to argue against women. Oh, women don't bring none to the table. Oh, marriage ain't got no benefits for men. That man ought to be, the man is the leader and the woman ain't got no voice. The woman can't say nothing about business. The woman can't say nothing about this, nothing about that. And they create them toxic, terrible narratives to feed you that, to make you feel sorry for yourself, to make you mad with women, to make you compete with women, to make you want to put your foot on the neck of a woman, to make you want to control a woman, to make you want to disrespect a woman. They do all of that. And it's all spiritual warfare, and you got to realize and understand that. And you got to be able to look and recognize and see. Like, you got to be able to look and see, like, wow, okay, this what it is. All right. This what it is. And you got to be willing to stand. Stand and see. Y'all to forgive my son text me. And then when you see that, now you fight back. You fight back, and you got to identify where you supposed to be used at. Where in the fight are you? Like, is it gonna be you gonna raise somebody that's gonna touch the world? Like your influence, your presence, your security, your safety, your love raises men and women that will be dynamic. Like you say, oh, I don't want the limelight. Make sure your kids do. Make sure your kids are warriors. Make sure your kids are battle ready, war ready, battle tested. Make sure they are confident. Make sure they get the best education. Don't put them in the hood ghetto school. Go get you financial aid at the best school in your city. Put them in there. Make sure they educated. Make sure they articulate. My son, he like tattoos. But he live right. And so I say, okay. So I say, okay. Because you live right and you want a sleeve tattoo, you ain't got no money. That's what you want. I'm glad you came to me and you asked me before going to sell drugs to get the money to go do it, or going to just try to do a bunch of gambling or fraud or something to go get it. So I'm going to take care of it. I got tattooed. He seen me grow up with tattoo. And I say, you know what? I seen some white boys who in the pulpit preaching and they got a sleeve of tattoos. I say, maybe that's how the Lord want to use my son. I say, you know, it's a lot of us that's on the right side, that's doing the right thing. We got tattoos. So it's hard for us to say, no, you can't get no tattoos when we got tattoos. I used to be a womanizer. I used to be a drug dealer. I used to be a robber. It's hard for me to look at my son who's in college with straight A's, in college, not just in high school no more, but in college with straight A's, still a virgin. Ain't never brought no girl home talking about this my girlfriend. Ain't never brought no boy home talking about this my boyfriend. He get dumped in the middle of the ocean. He do that. And then, so still to be living right, doing the right thing. So I realized I got to give him a little bit of rope. Got to give him a little bit of rope. But very articulate, very smart, very deep. And I just know that because of how he was raised, one day, God gonna call him and he's gonna use him. I don't know what he gonna have to go through before he get there. But I know God gonna use him. And I believe God gonna use my other son. And God may use them to reach me. He may use them to say, Tony, listen, man, stop being racist. Stop being homophobic. Stop being whatever. God, I ain't talking about my son being gay now. I ain't talking about that now. No. But I'm talking about they might bring home a white girl. And I got to learn how to love them high yellow grandkids. And I got to learn to be okay with it. I got a lot of homeboys that got white girls. You know, they with a white woman. And I know them, love them like brothers. And that's not something that is, and the reason why I be thinking about it, because I got trauma from it. I dated 2 white girls, and they daddy told them they can't be with me. And so ever since then, I'm like, listen, I don't want nothing, don't want me. I don't want nothing, don't want me. I'm like, I ain't want y'all to begin with. Y'all come and holler at me, and then I give y'all a chance. Then y'all daddy saying, you can't be with no end. Yeah, black man ain't good enough for you. So I was like, okay, I'm gone. And so I had to get over that trauma. My son might be the ones that help me get over it. I don't think my wife really going too much care, because her 2 sisters got white husbands. So she might not care. And so I say that to say, if it ain't about you getting on YouTube, or you getting out in the community, you having a nonprofit, you being a minister, a speaker, a life coach, a teacher, then make sure it's your kids. Make sure you raise your kids to be ready. But you could coach a basketball, football, baseball, softball, whatever kind of team, and have impact like never before. Your players could go and change the world. What if your player become the next LeBron James from the sport that you love, and maybe you didn't make it in, or maybe you wasn't all that good in, but your player become the next LeBron. Your player, your mentee become the next Tiger Woods, become the next whoever. Then they come to you with $1 million and say, open a group home, or open a community center, or open a study lab, a learning center. And that's because of your influence in that child life who grew up to become a multimillionaire. And so you got to find where you gonna be useful at, where you supposed to be used, where you gonna be. And you got to think about that. You got to think about that. And as you think about that, and as you working, as you moving, as you grinding, as you making moves, you got to stay locked in and focused. And you got to get up and you got to go to war every day. Like, you got to fight every day. Like, every single day I'm getting up and I'm diving into the work. Like, my client, she get on the phone, she talk to me, and she get on the phone, she talk to me. And so she probably 15, 20 minutes. She let me get off the call early. Come 5:23, I hopped on here. I'm doing this video. I could have kicked back, start snoring, took me a nap. My stomach hurting for some reason. I don't know if it's the ginger ale or what. I don't know if it's the something I ate or something. But it kind of burning. Stomach kind of burning. Like, I could have went in there on my sofa over there in the other office, laid down, or my couch out there in the front room in the lobby, laid down. I could go home, work from home, go from my bed to my home office. You know what I'm doing? Getting right back to work. I'm on here shooting this video, talking to you. As soon as I hang up from here, I got a call at 6 o'clock. Got a call at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Straight through like that. So guess what? I ain't got time to watch porn, man. I ain't got time to masturbate. I ain't got time to cheat on my wife. I ain't got time to get drunk. I ain't got time to get high. I ain't got time to gamble. I ain't got time to play a video game, because I'm in my purpose. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. That's where you got to get to. If you're not there already, if you there, stay there and go harder. If you're not there, you got to get in your purpose. And you got to, every waking hour, it got to be used for something intentional. So when I go home, okay, that's my wife and kids time. My youngest son, he little right now. He don't get to see me all the time that often, because I'm asleep when he get up to go to school. He sleep when I come home from work. This is a season of work. So guess what he gonna learn from a distance? He gonna learn that men pay the bills. He gonna learn that men get up and go to work. He learning that men, he know his daddy come home every night. And then he also gonna learn the value of a wife, because it's his mama that is there for him, waking him up, getting him dressed, taking him to school, picking him up from school, taking him to soccer practice, cooking his breakfast, making his lunch, making his dinner, tucking him in for bed. He's learning the value of not a mother. He learning the value of a wife. And I'm gonna let him know, you see, I have a wife. So when I got to go out and get the bacon or the beef, if you Muslim, get the beef. When I got to go out and bring home the bacon, of the beef, guess who got my bite? My wife. So why bring in children into the world and not have a wife? Like, if I ain't had no wife, and I had to just have weekends, and I got to have the kids on my weekends, I can't work on the weekends in the season that I need to grind. This grind season for me, I work 7 days a week right now. It's grind season. Got to do it. So guess what? My wife understand that. My kids understand that. So it's a lesson by default. They learning from a distance, and they seeing that. And so that's what I got. What I need you to understand is that you got to get beyond those vices, and you got to tap in. You got to lock in, and you got to get that drive going. Like, I can't fast right now. If I was a single man, I would fast a minimum of 24 hours every week. I would fast a minimum of 24 hours. If I was a single man, I would eat every other day. I ain't gonna lie to you. I would eat a full day, like an 8 to 12 hour window, and I would give my body a full 24 hours to digest that food if I was a single man. I can't do that as a married man because food in a marriage is love language. So my wife cooks every day, and if I say I'm not eating your food, then it's almost like I'm throwing away her gift. And I know I don't need to fast because I'm not in that deep of spiritual warfare at this time. Now, if I go into that deep of spiritual warfare, then I'll fast and she get it. She okay. Now she can make hot dogs and tater tots because I'm not eating it. And so she ain't got to make, like last night, she made pot roast for me, and it got the carrots in there, the potatoes in there, onions and all that right there. That grown man food. Brought me some. She drove up here and brought me lunch to the office today. That pot roast on top of some rice. So now she realized that's how she feed me when I'm eating. But if I tell her, baby, I'm going through a lot, I'm in spiritual warfare, I got to fast, she cool with it. And she'll support me in there. Make sure I got my lemon water. Make sure I got my water, what have you. And so I say that to say, you got to do what it takes to beat your vices, because you're going to have to beat vices in marriage too. So now you have the freedom. If you single, you got the freedom as a single man to gain complete self-control over your life, over your body, over what you got going on. You got complete self-control to where you could develop that self-control. And so when you get in marriage and now you test it, like I see beautiful women every day who liking my post, putting me in their story, all of that right there. And I see them beautiful women. It's like, man, boy, who is this? Man, this woman beautiful. But because I've developed self-control, then I'm able to see her and not have to DM her. I could see her and not have to go shoot my shot. I could be around a woman in person and not shoot my shot. I could meet a woman in person and not shoot my shot because I've developed self-control. So you have to develop that now in the dark. So when God moves you into the light, you got what it takes. So, hey, all the important links in the description. If you need me, God bless you. Book a one-on-one session. Moms, if you got a teenager, I would say 16 or up, and he need a session, then grab the link in the description. God bless you, and we will talk soon.